The lawyer's pen hadn't moved in 40 seconds.
Sarah watched it. Black ink, silver clip, resting against the yellow legal pad like it was holding its breath.
Outside the window, rain blurred the city into grey shapes.
The lawyer looked up. Her expression was careful, too careful.
Mrs. Chen, she said slowly, are you absolutely certain you want to proceed with this?
Sarah's throat tightened. She hadn't expected the question. Not after 3 meetings.
Not after she'd signed the retainer agreement.
Not after she'd written the check that made her stomach turn.
I thought we were past this, she said. Her voice came out smaller than she intended. The lawyer set down the pen. We are. Legally, we're ready.
I'm asking if you are. Something in the room shifted. Sarah felt it in her chest first, then in her hands.
They were shaking.
Just slightly.
Enough that she pressed them flat against her thighs.
He doesn't know I'm here, she said.
The lawyer nodded.
I assumed. Sarah looked at the papers spread across the desk.
Dissolution of marriage. The words looked too clean for what they meant. When will you tell him?
The lawyer asked. Sarah didn't answer right away.
She was thinking about the coffee mug David had left on the counter that morning. Still half full, still warm when she touched it. He'd kissed her forehead before leaving.
A habit. Automatic. Meaningless now. Maybe.
Or maybe not. That was the problem. She didn't know anymore. Tonight, Sarah finally said.
The lawyer made a note.
Do you have somewhere to stay if you need it?
The question landed like a stone. Sarah hadn't thought that far. She'd been so focused on this moment, this decision, that she hadn't considered the hours after.
My sister's, she said, though she hadn't called her sister, hadn't told anyone. The lawyer slid a folder across the desk.
Everything's here. Take your time reading it. If anything changes, call me before you say anything to him. Sarah took the folder. It was heavier than it looked. She stood. Her legs felt strange.
The lawyer stood too.
Sarah, she said, dropping the formality. Whatever happens tonight, you don't owe him an explanation beyond what you choose to give. Sarah nodded but didn't believe it. 17 years.
You couldn't summarize that in a folder.
She left the office and stood in the hallway, watching the elevator numbers climb.
3,
4, 5. She pressed the button. Waited.
The doors opened.
Empty. She stepped inside and pressed the button for the ground floor.
The doors closed.
She was alone with her reflection in the metal.
She looked tired.
When had that happened?
Her hair was pulled back to tight. Her coat was wrinkled. She bought it with David.
6 years ago. Boston.
A long weekend that felt like a different life. He'd insisted on buying it for her even though it was too expensive.
You'll wear it forever, he'd said. He'd been right. She was still wearing it.
The elevator opened.
The lobby was crowded.
People moving past each other without looking.
Sarah stepped out and walked toward the exit.
The rain had gotten heavier. She hadn't brought an umbrella.
She stood under the awning and watched water pour off the edge.
Her phone buzzed.
She pulled it out.
A text from David. Dinner at 7.
I'll cook. She stared at the message. Her thumb hovered over the keyboard.
She didn't know what to say. Sounds good felt like a lie.
We need to talk felt too much. She typed OK and sent it before she could overthink. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again.
Love you, he sent.
She locked her phone and put it back in her pocket. She didn't respond. 6 months earlier, Sarah had found the receipt. It wasn't hidden. That's what bothered her most. It was in the pocket of his jacket.
The one he wore to work.
She'd been taking it to the dry cleaner. The paper was folded once. Neat. She almost didn't open it, but something made her pause. A restaurant she didn't recognize. Dinner for 2. $87. Date night prices.
The date was a Thursday. She'd been at her mother's that night. David had said he was working late.
She stood in the bedroom holding the receipt.
The room was too quiet.
She could hear the clock on the nightstand.
Each second, deliberate.
She sat on the edge of the bed. The receipt felt thin between her fingers.
Tissue paper.
She didn't confront him right away.
She told herself it could be anything.
A client dinner, a work thing, reasonable explanations. But Thursday wasn't a work dinner night.
And he'd never mentioned it.
Not once. She put the receipt back in the pocket.
Refolded it the way she'd found it.
Took the jacket to the cleaner. Came home. Made dinner. Said nothing.
That night, David came home at 6:30.
Normal time.
He kissed her hello.
Automatic.
He smelled like coffee and something else.
Perfume maybe.
Or she was imagining it.
She watched him hang his jacket in the closet. How was your day? She asked.
He shrugged.
Long. Meetings. He didn't mention Thursday. She didn't ask. They ate in front of the television. Comfortable silence. She started noticing other things after that.
Small things. His phone face down on the counter.
Always. Showers right after he got home. New cologne. Maybe not new. Maybe she'd stopped paying attention. He laughed at something on his phone one night. When she asked what was funny, he said, "Just a meme." He didn't show her. She didn't push.
2 weeks later, she found another receipt.
This time in his car. Same restaurant.
Different date.
She was looking for the insurance papers. There it was, folded in the glove box. $92 this time. Dessert maybe. All drinks. She sat in the driver's seat holding it. The car smelled like him. Leather and coffee. She felt sick. Not dramatic. Just a slow, heavy nausea.
She called her sister that night.
Met her at a coffee shop downtown.
Amanda took one look at her and said, "What's wrong?"
Sarah handed her the receipts. Both of them.
Amanda studied them quietly. Then she looked up.
Have you asked him?
Sarah shook her head. "I don't know how." Amanda reached across the table.
You just ask.
"You just say it. Do you want me to be there?"
Sarah almost laughed.
"No, I don't know."
Maybe it's nothing. Amanda's expression didn't change.
"Do you believe that?"
Sarah didn't answer.
She looked out the window.
People walking by, living normal lives. She wondered if any of them had sat in this exact seat, holding receipts, feeling this exact weight.
"I don't know what I believe," Sarah said finally.
That's the problem. She went home that night and waited for David. He was late.
11:30. She was already in bed. He came in quietly.
Tried not to wake her, but she wasn't asleep. She was staring at the ceiling. "Where were you?" she asked.
He froze in the doorway.
"I texted you."
Work thing ran late. She hadn't checked her phone.
She rolled over to face him. What kind of work thing? He looked at her then. Really looked. She saw something in his face.
Surprise maybe.
Or guilt.
Or exhaustion. She couldn't tell anymore.
Drinks with the team, he said. Why? She wanted to ask him directly. She wanted to hold up the receipts and demand the truth, but the words wouldn't come. Instead she said, "Just wondering." He nodded slowly.
Then he went to the bathroom.
She heard the water running, the electric toothbrush, the familiar sounds of their nighttime routine. When he came back, he climbed into bed beside her, kept space between them. Not much, just enough. "Good night," he said. She didn't respond. She waited until his breathing slowed.
Then she got up,
Went to the kitchen, sat in the dark.
thought about 17 years.
They'd met at a wedding.
Mutual friends.
She'd been 26. He'd been 28.
He'd spilled champagne on her dress. Spent the whole night apologizing. By the end, she'd given him her number.
Their first date was coffee. Their second was dinner. By the third, she knew. Not that he was perfect, but that he was hers. They were married within a year.
Too fast, people said. But it hadn't felt fast.
It felt right. Easy.
They'd bought the house on Maple Street. Small, but theirs. They'd talked about kids.
Someday. Not yet. They had time.
Then her mother got sick. Then his father. Then work got busy. Then time kept moving and someday stayed someday.
They'd stopped talking about it.
Stopped planning.
Just lived. Day to day.
Comfortable.
Until now. Sarah sat at the kitchen table until 3 in the morning.
Then she went back to bed.
David was on his side.
Facing away.
She lay on her back and stared at the ceiling until the room started getting lighter.
She must have slept. Because suddenly, the alarm was going off and David was getting up and the day was starting.
He made coffee. She pretended to sleep. He left at 7:15.
She got up after his car pulled away.
The house felt bigger when she was alone in it. Or maybe smaller. She couldn't decide. She made toast.
Didn't eat it. She called her boss and said she was sick.
Not a lie exactly. She felt sick.
Then she did something she'd never done.
She opened his laptop. It was on the kitchen counter.
Password protected.
She knew the password. His mother's birthday.
She typed it in. The screen opened.
Email. Calendar. Browser history. She felt dirty doing it. Like she was crossing a line she couldn't uncross.
But she kept going.
The calendar was first. Meetings. Normal work stuff.
Then she saw them. Lunch appointments.
Blocked out.
No details.
Just lunch in lowercase. Every Tuesday. For the past 3 months. She clicked on his email. There were hundreds. Work emails. Spam. Subscriptions.
She scrolled.
Looking for something. Anything.
Then she saw a name she did recognize.
Michelle.
3 emails.
All recent. She opened the first one. Thanks for last night.
I needed that. Sarah's stomach dropped.
She opened the second. Can we talk? I know this is complicated. The third was from David.
I don't know what to do.
She closed the laptop.
Her hands were shaking. Her vision blurred. She wasn't crying.
Not yet.
She was just sitting there,
breathing,
trying to understand.
Michelle.
She didn't know any Michelle. She went to the bedroom,
Pulled out her phone.
searched his contacts.
There she was.
Michelle Tran,
No photo.
just a number.
Sarah stared at it.
Her thumb hovered over the call button.
She didn't press it. Instead, she called Amanda. Her sister answered on the second ring.
Sarah, her voice was worried.
Sarah hadn't said anything yet. I need you to come over, Sarah said. Her voice sounded far away.
Like it was coming from someone else.
Now, Amanda asked. Yes. Now, Amanda didn't ask questions. I'm leaving right now, she hung up. Sarah sat on the bed and waited.
Amanda arrived 20 minutes later.
She let herself in with the spare key.
Found Sarah in the bedroom, still sitting, still staring at nothing. What happened?
Amanda asked. Sarah handed her the phone, showed her the emails.
Amanda read them slowly.
Her expression hardened.
When she finished, she looked up.
Did you call her?
Sarah shook her head. Do you want me to?
Sarah didn't know.
I want to know who she is, Sarah said. Amanda sat beside her.
Okay, let's find out. She opened her own phone. Typed the name into social media.
Michelle Tran, dozens of results.
But only one in their city.
Amanda clicked on the profile.
Private, but the profile picture was visible.
A woman,
Mid-30s maybe. Dark hair.
smiling.
Professional photo.
Amanda showed Sarah.
Do you recognize her? Sarah stared at the face.
No, she'd never seen her.
Check if she's connected to David, Sarah said.
Amanda tried.
No mutual friends visible. She's locked down, Amanda said. We need someone who can see her profile, Sarah thought. Then it hit her.
Try Michael,
David's work friend.
they're connected on everything. Amanda found Michael's profile, sent him a message. Can you see Michelle Tran's profile?
They waited 10 minutes.
Then Michael responded.
Yeah, why?
Amanda looked at Sarah.
Sarah nodded.
Amanda typed. Can you screenshot her info and send it to me?
Don't ask why. I'll explain later. Michael sent 3 dots. Then a response.
This is weird, but okay. 2 minutes later, screenshots arrived. Michelle Tran
Works at the same company as David. Marketing department.
5 years there.
Sarah felt like the air had been sucked from the room.
Same company, different department. How long had they known each other?
The emails didn't say. She stood up, paced. Amanda watched her. What do you want to do? Amanda asked. Sarah didn't answer. She was thinking.
Trying to piece it together.
The receipts. The emails. The Tuesday lunches.
Then she remembered something.
David's work party.
3 months ago.
She'd gone with him. Board event.
Forced small talk, but there'd been a woman.
Sarah had noticed her because she'd laughed too loud at something David said across the room. Dark hair.
Was that her?
Sarah tried to remember. The details were fuzzy.
She'd been distracted.
Tired. Ready to leave. She'd barely paid attention.
I think I met her, Sarah said.
Amanda's eyes widened.
When? 3 months ago.
At his work thing, there was a woman.
I don't know if it was her.
But maybe. Amanda stood. Okay.
Here's what we do. You call him. Tell him to come home.
You asked him directly.
No dancing around it. You deserve the truth. Sarah felt panic rising.
What if he lies? Amanda's face softened.
Then you'll know that too. Sarah picked up her phone. Her hands were steadier now. She dialed.
David answered. Hey, he said. He sounded normal. Happy even.
Can you come home?
Sarah asked. Silence. Right now? He asked. Yes. More silence. Is everything okay? No, nothing was okay. Just come home, she said.
She hung up before he could respond. Amanda squeezed her hand. I'll stay, or I can leave.
Whatever you need, Sarah thought. Stay, but not in the room. Just in the house. Amanda nodded.
David arrived 30 minutes later.
Sarah heard his car in the driveway.
The engine cutting off.
The door closing.
His footsteps on the walkway. He came in looking worried.
Saw Amanda in the kitchen. His expression shifted. Guarded now. What's going on? He asked. Sarah was sitting in the living room.
She didn't stand.
Sit down, she said. He hesitated.
Then sat across from her. She could see his hands. They were clasped together.
Knuckles white.
Who's Michelle?
Sarah asked. She watched his face. Saw the recognition. The fear. The calculation. He opened his mouth. Closed it. Tried again. She's a coworker, he said. I know that, Sarah said. I'm asking who she is to you. He looked down. At his hands. At the floor. Anywhere but at her. It's not what you think, he finally said. Worst possible answer.
You don't know what I think, Sarah said. Her voice was calm.
Too calm. So tell me.
Who is she? David ran a hand through his hair.
A nervous habit she knew too well.
We're friends, he said.
We talk. That's all. Sarah pulled out her phone. Read the emails aloud, each word deliberate.
When she finished, she looked at him.
Friends don't write that, she said.
He was pale now.
Sarah, I swear, nothing happened. But you wanted it to, she said, not a question.
A statement.
He didn't deny it. The silence was answer enough. She felt something break inside her. Not dramatic, just a quiet crack, like ice on a lake. How long? She asked. How long what? He said.
Don't do that.
Don't make me ask again. He closed his eyes. 6 months. We started talking 6 months ago, the same time as the first receipt.
The same time everything changed.
Did you sleep with her? Sarah asked.
She needed to know, even though the answer would hurt either way. No, he said quickly.
I promise, nothing physical happened. Sarah wanted to believe him. Part of her did.
But belief felt impossible now.
Why? She asked. Simple question. Impossible to answer. He looked at her then. Really looked. His eyes were wet.
I don't know, he said. I don't have a good reason.
Try, Sarah said.
Her voice broke on the word.
He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. We were stuck, he said.
You and me.
We were just going through the motions, and she was new, different. I'm not saying that's an excuse.
I'm just trying to explain. Sarah felt anger rising.
Hot and sharp. So it's my fault.
No, he said immediately.
That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean?
I meant I was lonely, he said.
Even with you?
Maybe especially with you, because we used to be so good together.
And now we're just roommates who share a bed. The words hit her hard.
Because they were true.
She'd felt it too.
But she tried to ignore it. Hoped it would pass.
Hoped they'd find their way back. So instead of talking to me, you talked to her, Sarah said. He nodded.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sarah stood. She couldn't sit anymore.
She walked to the window. Outside, the world looked normal.
Cars passing.
Neighbors walking dogs.
Life continuing.
I don't know if sorry is enough, she said. Behind her, David was crying.
She could hear it. Soft sounds. Suppressed. What do you want me to do? He asked.
She turned around. I want you to go, she said. His face crumbled. Go where? I don't care. Amanda's going to stay here tonight. You can go to a hotel. Or to Michelle's. I don't care. That last part was a lie. She did care.
Sarah, please, he said. Let's talk about this. She shook her head. I can't look at you right now. I need you to leave. He stood slowly,
looked at her like he was memorizing her face. Then he nodded, walked to the door, stopped with his hand on the handle. I love you, he said.
She didn't respond. He left. The door closed softly.
Amanda came into the room, didn't say anything, just stood beside Sarah at the window. They watched David's car back out of the driveway,
disappear down the street.
You okay?
Amanda asked.
Sarah shook her head.
No, Amanda put an arm around her. You will be.
Eventually, Sarah didn't believe her, but she leaned into her sister anyway.
They stood there until the sun set. The next 3 weeks were a blur.
David called every day.
Sarah didn't answer.
He sent texts,
long ones, apologizing,
explaining, begging for another chance. She read them all, responded to none. She went to work, came home, ate when Amanda forced her to, slept in fits.
The house felt wrong without him,
but also felt right, like she could breathe again. She didn't know which feeling to trust. Amanda moved in temporarily,
took the guest room, made dinners, did laundry, asked no questions, just existed beside Sarah, a steady presence. One night, Sarah asked, Did you know?
Amanda looked up from the dishes. Know what? About David, about us falling apart. Amanda dried her hands. I knew you weren't the way you used to be.
But I thought that was normal. People change.
Marriage changes. Maybe we change too much. Amanda sat beside her at the table. Do you want to fix it? Sarah had been asking herself the same question. I don't know if it can be fixed. I don't know if I want to try. I don't know anything anymore. Amanda nodded. That's okay. You don't have to know yet. But Sarah felt the weight of the decision. Stay or go. Forgive or leave. Rebuild or walk away. Every option felt impossible. Every option felt like losing.
She started seeing a therapist, Dr. Patel.
Older woman.
Kind eyes.
They met twice a week.
Sarah talked. Dr. Patel listened.
Asked careful questions.
What do you want? She asked during the 3rd session. Sarah had been waiting for that question, dreading it. I want it to not have happened, she said. Dr. Patel nodded. But it did. So what do you want now? Sarah started crying.
First time since finding the emails. I don't know.
But time felt heavy. Each day without David was a day further from who they'd been. Each day also felt like relief.
Space to think, to feel.
To not have to perform being okay. She cleaned the house, top to bottom,
found things of his everywhere. A book on the nightstand, his favorite mug,
a jacket in the closet.
She packed them into a box, taped it shut,
Put it in the garage, not throwing away, just removing, creating distance.
David called one night.
She answered without thinking.
Hello. His voice was rough, like he'd been crying.
Or not sleeping. Sarah, thank you for answering. She didn't say anything.
I just wanted to hear your voice, he said.
She almost hung up, but something stopped her. What do you want, David?
She heard him exhale. I want to come home. I want to fix this. I want us back. She closed her eyes. I don't think that's possible.
Why not? He asked.
Because I don't trust you anymore, and I don't know if I can get that back. Silence. Then he said, I stopped talking to her. The day you confronted me, I blocked her number.
Quit my job.
I'm working somewhere else now. I did everything I could think of to show you I'm serious. Sarah felt something shift.
Not forgiveness,
but acknowledgement. He was trying. That doesn't fix what you broke, she said. I know, he said.
But I'm asking you to let me try. She thought about the lawyer's office,
the papers waiting to be signed,
the finality of it. I need more time, she said.
Okay, he said immediately.
As much as you need. They sat in silence, connected by phone,
separated by everything else.
I should go, she said finally. Okay, Sarah?
Yeah, I love you. I know that doesn't mean much right now, but it's true. She hung up without responding. Amanda was watching from the kitchen doorway.
You talked to him, Sarah nodded.
He quit his job. Amanda's eyebrows raised.
That's big. Sarah sat on the couch. Is it though?
Or is it just a gesture?
Something to make me feel guilty for not forgiving him.
Amanda came and sat beside her. Only you can answer that. What does your gut say? Sarah's gut said nothing. It was silent. Empty. I don't know what I feel anymore. She went to the lawyer's office the next day.
Sat across the desk again. Same chair.
Same yellow legal pad.
I need more time, Sarah said.
The lawyer nodded. Okay, we can pause everything. The papers are ready when you are. Sarah felt relief.
Or maybe just postponement of the inevitable.
How do you know?
She asked.
How do you know if a marriage is worth saving?
The lawyer set down her pen.
I can't answer that.
But I can ask you something.
When you think about your future, is he in it?
Sarah tried to picture it.
5 years from now.
10, 40.
She saw herself older, maybe grayer, maybe tired.
But was David there?
She couldn't see clearly.
The image was fuzzy.
I don't know, she said. The lawyer nodded. Then you are not ready to sign these papers. Come back when the answer is clear. Either way, Sarah left the office feeling lighter or heavier. She couldn't tell the difference anymore. 3 months later, Sarah agreed to meet David for coffee. Neutral ground.
A cafe downtown neither of them frequented. She arrived first, chose a table by the window, watched people pass.
He arrived exactly on time.
He looked different.
Thinner maybe, or just older. He'd always aged well.
Distinguished, people said. Now he just looked tired.
He sat across from her, ordered black coffee.
No sugar. She remembered he used to take cream. Thanks for meeting me, he said. She nodded.
Didn't know what to say. They sat in awkward silence.
6 months ago, silence between them had been comfortable. Now it felt like a wall.
How have you been?
He asked. The question felt absurd.
But she answered. I'm okay. Therapy helps. He nodded.
I'm in therapy too.
Dr. Morrison. He's helping me understand why I did what I did. Sarah sipped her coffee. Too hot. It burned her tongue.
And she asked, why did you do it? He looked out the window, collecting thoughts. I think I was scared, he said.
Scared of what? He turned back to her. Scared that we'd become our parents. Comfortable, complacent, staying together because it was easier than leaving.
I didn't want that. But instead of talking to you about it, I found someone who made me feel like I was still interesting.
Still worth knowing. His honesty surprised her.
You should have talked to me, Sarah said.
I know, he said. I know that now.
But in the moment, it felt impossible.
Like admitting I wasn't happy would break everything. She felt anger stirring again. So you broke it anyway. He nodded.
Yes, and I hate myself for it. She wanted to say she hated him too.
But that wasn't true.
She was angry, hurt, betrayed, but hate felt too strong.
Or maybe too simple. Hate would be easier.
What do you want from me? She asked.
He met her eyes. I want another chance.
I want to go to couples therapy.
I want to rebuild what we had. Or build something new. I don't care which.
I just want you. She felt tears starting. Push them down.
What if I can't get past this?
She asked. Then I'll accept that, he said. But I'm asking you to try. Not for me, for us.
For 17 years. For what we were. She looked at him.
Really looked. saw the man she'd married,
Still there, under the guilt and the pain and the distance.
but also saw the man who'd lied.
Who'd let someone else in, who'd made her question everything. I don't know if I can trust you again, she said. I know, he said, but I'll spend however long it takes earning it back.
If you let me. She finished her coffee. It had gone cold. I need to think, she said. She stood.
He stood too. Thank you for meeting me. She walked to her car.
Sat in the driver's seat. Didn't start the engine. Just sat. Thinking. Feeling. She pulled out her phone. Called Amanda. How'd it go? Amanda asked. He wants to try again, Sarah said. Do you? Sarah watched people entering the cafe, leaving the cafe, living their lives, making their choices.
I don't know, she said, but I think I might want to find out. Amanda was quiet. Then she said, okay.
I'm here either way. Sarah started the car, drove home.
When she got there, she sat in the driveway, looking at the house.
Their house. 17 years of memories inside those walls. Good ones,
Bad ones.
complicated ones.
She thought about the lawyer's question. When you think about your future, is he in it?
She closed her eyes, tried to see clearly. The image was still fuzzy, but maybe that was okay.
Maybe certainty was overrated.
Maybe trying was enough.
She called David that night. I'll go to therapy with you, she said.
She heard his breath catch. Really? One session, she said. We'll see how it goes. Okay, he said. That's all I'm asking. Thank you, Sarah. She hung up.
Sat in the quiet house. Amanda had moved back to her own place last week. The silence felt different now. Less heavy, more neutral.
She made dinner, ate alone, watched television without really watching, went to bed early.
The first therapy session was 2 weeks later.
Dr. Chun, couple specialist, young, energetic, too positive maybe.
They sat on opposite ends of a couch.
Dr. Chun between them in a chair.
Let's start with why you're here, she said.
David looked at Sarah. Sarah looked at the floor.
I had an emotional affair, David said.
And we're trying to figure out if we can move past it. Dr. Chun nodded. Sarah, how do you feel about that description? Sarah thought about it.
Accurate.
But incomplete. Dr. Chun leaned forward. Incomplete how? Sarah forced herself to look at David. It wasn't just the affair.
It was everything leading up to it.
The distance. The silence. We stopped being partners. We were just existing beside each other. David's expression shifted. Surprised.
Maybe relieved that she'd said it. Do you both feel that way?
Dr. Chun asked.
David nodded.
Yes.
I felt that too. I just didn't know how to fix it.
They talked for an hour, then another. Dr. Chun asked hard questions. David answered honestly. Sarah tried to. By the end, she felt exhausted, wrung out,
but also lighter.
like saying the things they'd both been thinking made them less dangerous.
As they walked to their cars, David stopped.
Can I hug you? He asked.
She hesitated, then nodded.
He pulled her close, not too tight, just enough. She let herself lean into it,
For just a moment,
then stepped back. They scheduled another session,
and another. Slowly, something shifted,
not back to what they were,
but towards something new.
something more honest.
They started having dinner together once a week. Neutral locations at first, then their house.
He didn't move back in. Not yet. Maybe not ever.
That wasn't the point.
The point was trying, talking,
Being honest even when it hurt.
especially when it hurt.
It wasn't forgiveness.
Not yet. Maybe not ever. But it was something. 6 months after that first therapy session, Sarah finally signed the divorce papers. Not to file them, just to have them ready, just in case.
The lawyer looked at her carefully.
Have you told him?
Sarah shook her head. I don't know if I will, but I needed to do this.
For me.
To know I have the option, the lawyer nodded. That's fair. Sarah took the papers home, put them in a drawer, didn't think about them much after that. They were there if she needed them. David invited her to dinner at his apartment. He'd moved into a small place across town.
1 bedroom. Minimal furniture. He cooked pasta, her favorite.
They ate at a table too small for 2 people. Their knees bumped.
He apologized. She laughed. First real laugh in months. It felt strange.
Like using a muscle that had atrophied.
After dinner, they sat on his couch, watched a movie neither of them cared about.
His hand was beside hers. Not touching.
Just close.
Can I ask you something? He said during a commercial.
She muted the television. Okay. He turned to face her.
Do you think you'll ever forgive me? She thought about it.
Really thought.
I don't know, she said.
Some days I think I already have. Other days I'm still angry.
I don't think it's a switch I can flip. I think it's something I'll have to keep choosing.
Every day. And some days I won't be able to. And that has to be okay. He nodded. That's fair.
They didn't talk about moving back in together, didn't make promises about the future,
just existed in the present.
Dinner once a week became twice, then 3 times.
They went to therapy every Thursday. Some sessions were hard, some were harder.
But they kept going.
Sarah still had the divorce papers in her drawer. Sometimes she thought about them. Mostly she didn't. It was like insurance, there if she needed it.
But hoping she never would. 1 year after she'd found the emails, Sarah and David stood in the kitchen of their house again. He'd moved back into months earlier.
Slowly,
a few things at a time.
Testing it.
They were making dinner together.
He was chopping vegetables. She was stirring sauce. The radio played something neither of them recognized. It felt normal. Painfully, beautifully normal.
I was thinking, David said. She looked at him. About what? About taking a trip.
Where? She asked.
He shrugged. Somewhere we've never been. Somewhere without history.
Just us.
Making new memories. She thought about it.
Boston flashed through her mind. The coat. The version of them that no longer existed. Maybe he was right.
Maybe they needed new places. New memories. Okay, she said.
Let's do it. He smiled.
Not the smile from before.
Something quieter.
More careful.
More earned.
They finished making dinner.
Ate together.
Did dishes side by side.
That night, lying in bed, Sarah stared at the ceiling.
David was beside her. Not touching,
but close, like always.
Are you awake?
She asked.
Yeah, he said. She turned to face him. I don't know if we'll make it, she said. I know, he said.
Me either. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't a happy ending.
But it was honest.
And maybe that was better. Maybe that was enough.
They lay in the dark.
Together. Separate.
Somewhere in between. Outside, the world kept turning. Inside, they were trying.
Sarah never told David about the divorce papers in the drawer. She took them out sometimes, when he was at work,
when she was alone.
She'd hold them, look at her signature, think about how easy it would be. One phone call,
one filing,
one ending.
Then she'd put them back, close the drawer, go make dinner,
or call Amanda,
or walk through the house they'd built together.
The papers stayed, a reminder, an option,
a safety net. She didn't know if she'd ever use them.
Some days that scared her.
Some days it felt like freedom. To know she could leave and be okay. To know she was staying by choice.
Not obligation, not fear. Choice. That changed everything.
Or maybe it changed nothing. She couldn't tell yet.
Time would. Time always did. Michelle's name didn't come up anymore.
David had kept his word. No contact. New job. Clean slate.
Sarah believed him. Or she chose to believe him.
Maybe there wasn't a difference.
Trust was a choice you made every day. Some days easier than others. Dr. Chun said they were making progress. Sarah wasn't sure what that meant. They still fought.
Still had hard days.
Still struggled to communicate.
But they also laughed more.
Touched more. Looked at each other instead of past each other.
Was that progress? Or just different? She didn't know.
She was learning to be okay with not knowing.
With uncertainty.
With the messy middle of things. Not the clean beginning.
Not the definitive end.
Just the complicated, uncertain, exhausting middle.
Amanda asked her once, "Are you happy?" They were having coffee.
Their weekly routine. Sarah thought about the question.
"I'm not unhappy," she said.
"Is that the same thing?"
Amanda asked. "I don't know," Sarah said, "but it's better than I was."
"And maybe that's enough for now," Amanda nodded.
Didn't push. That was the thing about almost losing everything. It recalibrated your expectations. Happiness felt less like a constant state, more like moments. Brief, fleeting, precious because they were rare. David surprised her for their anniversary. Not their wedding anniversary. The anniversary of the day she'd confronted him. 1 year since everything broke.
Strange thing to celebrate.
But he'd bought her flowers.
Nothing fancy. Grocery store tulips. Her favorite.
He handed them to her awkwardly. "I know this is weird," he said, "but I wanted to acknowledge it. What we survived.
What we're still surviving." She took the flowers.
Put them in water. They looked cheerful on the kitchen counter. Defiant almost.
They didn't go out.
Didn't make a big deal.
Just order takeout. Ate on the couch. Watched television. Normal. Boring.
Perfect.
Midway through the movie, David said, "I'm glad you didn't give up." She looked at him. "I almost did." "I know," he said.
"I'm glad you didn't." She wasn't sure if she was glad.
But she was here.
That counted for something. They finished the movie. Went to bed.
Lay in the dark. She reached for his hand. He took it.
They fell asleep like that. Connected.
Barely. The trip happened 3 months later. Portugal. Neither of them had been.
2 weeks. Small hotels.
Good food. Long walks. They took photos.
Not many.
Just a few. Evidence that they tried.
That they were still trying.
On the last night, they sat on a balcony overlooking the ocean. The sun was setting.
Klitsch. Beautiful. Thank you for coming, David said.
Thank you for asking, she said. They drank wine, watched the sky change colors.
Didn't talk much. Didn't need to. When they got home, the house looked different. Or maybe they looked at it differently.
Sarah put away the divorce papers, not in a drawer, in a box, in the garage.
With old tax returns and forgotten Christmas decorations. Still there.
But further away, out of reach, out of mind. Mostly, she didn't tell David.
He didn't need to know.
It was her safety net.
Her insurance policy. Her reminder that she had choices.
That she was staying because she wanted to, not because she had to. 2 years after finding the emails, Sarah sat in Dr. Chun's office alone. David was at work. This was her session. Solo. Maintenance. Dr. Chun called it. How are things? Dr. Chun asked. Sarah thought about it. Good. Mostly. We had a fight last week.
About something stupid.
Loading the dishwasher. But it escalated. Dr. Chun nodded. How did you resolve it? We didn't. Not really. We just stopped fighting. Agreed to disagree.
Moved on. And how did that feel?
Normal, Sarah said.
Is that bad?
Dr. Chun smiled.
No, normal is good.
Normal is what you're building, Sarah nodded. She understood that intellectually.
But emotionally, she still waited for the other shoe to drop. For another betrayal.
Another secret. Another thing she'd missed. Dr. Chun saw it on her face. You're waiting for it to happen again, she said. Yes, Sarah admitted. How do I stop? Dr. Chun leaned back.
I don't know if you do.
But you learn to live with the uncertainty. Sarah left the session feeling unsettled. She drove home. David's car was in the driveway. He was home early.
She found him in the kitchen, making dinner.
He looked up and smiled.
Hey.
How was therapy?
Fine, she said.
She set down her bag, watched him cook.
Do you ever worry?
She asked. He stopped chopping.
About what? That I'll leave. That I'll wake up one day and decide it's not worth it. He was quiet. Then he said, every day, the honesty surprised her.
But you stay anyway. I stay anyway, he confirmed.
She walked over.
Stood beside him at the counter. Not touching, just close. Me too, she said. He nodded.
They finished making dinner together.
Set the table. Ate.
Cleaned up. Did the ordinary things that make up a life. A marriage.
A choice made every day.
It wasn't a fairy tale.
It wasn't perfect.
But it was theirs.
Complicated. Broken. Healing. Imperfect. Real.
They watched television until they were too tired to keep their eyes open. Then they went to bed.
Sarah lay in the dark.
David's breathing had slowed.
He was asleep. She wasn't.
She was thinking about the papers in the garage. About the choice to stay. About the choice to leave. About how both were always there. Existing simultaneously. She'd stopped seeing them as opposites. They were just options. Doors she could walk through if she needed to. But for now, she was here.
In this bed. In this house. In this marriage.
It was enough.
Or it wasn't.
But it was hers.
She closed her eyes.
Tomorrow would come. Tomorrow came.
And the day after. And the day after that. Life continued. Not better. Not worse.
Just different. They celebrated David's promotion. She got a new job.
They repainted the bedroom.
Small things. Normal things.
The things that fill a life when you're not focused on endings or beginnings. Just middles. Just existing. One night, David asked her, do you still think about it? He didn't have to specify what.
She knew.
Sometimes, she said. Do you? Every day, he said. She looked at him. Saw the guilt still there. Maybe it would always be there. Maybe that was his burden to carry. I'm sorry, he said.
He said it a lot.
Even now, even 2 years later. I know, she said. And she did. She believed his remorse, his regret. But remorse and regret didn't erase what happened.
They just existed alongside it. Part of their story now.
Part of who they were. She'd stopped asking him to stop apologizing. It seemed to help him. To say it. To name it. To not forget. 3 years after the lawyer's office, Sarah received an email from Michelle. She almost deleted it without reading. Her finger hovered over the delete button. But curiosity won. She opened it. The message was short. I'm sorry for my part in what happened.
I didn't know he was married at first. By the time I did, I'd already caught feelings.
That's not an excuse.
Just an explanation.
I hope you're doing okay. You didn't deserve any of that. Sarah read it 3 times.
She showed David.
He paled. I didn't know she was going to do that.
I swear.
I haven't talked to her. Sarah believed him. She could tell. What do you want to do? He asked.
She thought about it. Nothing, she said. There's nothing to do. She deleted the email, blocked the address, told David she didn't want to talk about it.
He nodded.
They never mentioned it again.
But Sarah thought about it sometimes. About Michelle. About her story.
About how everyone was the hero of their own narrative.
4 years.
5 years. The anniversary of finding the emails came and went.
They didn't acknowledge it anymore.
It had become just another day, part of their history.
But not their present. Sarah had taken the divorce papers out of the garage.
Put them through the shredder. It felt ceremonial. Final.
Or maybe just necessary. To let go of the safety net. To commit. Fully. Terrifyingly. Without backup. David didn't know.
She didn't tell him.
It was her choice.
Her leap. Her trust.
They went to therapy less often now.
Once a month.
Sometimes less. Maintenance, like Dr. Chen said.
They'd learned how to talk to each other.
Really talk. Not just surface conversation. Not just logistics. But feelings. Fears. Resentments.
Small ones before they became big.
It was hard. Always hard.
But easier than it used to be.
They built new patterns.
New ways of being together.
Not the old ways. Those were gone.
But new ones. Honest ones.
Harder ones.
Better ones. Maybe.
Sarah stood in the kitchen one morning, coffee in hand. David was reading the news on his phone. She watched him.
Thought about the journey.
The distance they traveled. From that day in the lawyer's office to here. To this ordinary morning. Nothing special.
Nothing dramatic. Just another day. But somehow that felt like everything.
What are you thinking? David asked.
He'd looked up, caught her staring. Nothing, she said.
Just that we made it. In whatever way this counts as making it. He smiled.
Sad smile. Knowing smile.
We did. She didn't know if they'd make it another year. Another 5. Another 40.
She didn't know if the trust would hold. If her forgiveness would stick. If another betrayal waited down the road. She didn't know anything for certain.
But she was here.
Choosing this. Choosing him. Choosing them.
Every morning.
Every argument.
Every moment. It wasn't a fairy tale.
But it was real.
And sometimes, maybe, real was better.
She drank her coffee. He went back to his phone. Outside, the sun rose.
Another day began. Inside, they continued. Together. Imperfect. Trying.
That was all anyone could do.
Try. Stay. Choose. Again and again.
Until you couldn't anymore. Or until choosing became natural.
Automatic. Easy.
They weren't there yet.
Maybe they never would be.
But they were closer than they'd been.
And that had to be enough.